Today we're gonna compose a bass line in the style of Gene Simmons from Kiss. We're gonna go from this to this. First of all, the backing track. I've intentionally chosen an AC/DC style backing track to show how much the bass line impacts the overall sound. In fact, if you just play straight 8th note roots like I did in the intro, it sounds exactly like AC/DC. To make a Gene Simmons bass line, gear isn't that important. Gene played a variety of basses and amps over the years, like the Gibson Reaper, car basses, and others, so there's no real standard. The one thing you might want to do to get that signature 70s Kiss vibe is to add a bit of distortion to simulate a tube amp. Also, boost the high mids slightly to get the growling note definition. I'm using the bridge pickup of my jazz bass, but any bass will do. The first thing you want to do is add some walking bass. Walking bass lines typically play quarter notes hitting the root note on beat 1. The other 3 notes can be almost anything inside the scale and it will still work. Songs like Strutter, Ladies Room, and Rock and Roll All Night all use walking bass lines. So let's start with this. A bit better but a little stiff, so as usual let's add some syncopation to give it a bit more drive. Next, you want to throw in some pentatonic figures. The pentatonic scale is the sound of rock, and many Kiss bass lines are built around it, like Detroit Rock City or 100,000 Years. So in the second part of our backing track, which is the pre-chorus, we're gonna add some pentatonic riffs. That's more like it. Another thing you can add to make it sound like Gene Simmons is little licks on the higher part of the neck in response to the main line of the chorus. I like to call them the cheeky notes. You can hear them everywhere in songs like Dirty Living or Christine 16. They're super cool because they sound almost like a horn section responding to the lead vocal. Very Gene Simmons. The final touch we're gonna add are some octave slides at the end of each section. Gene uses these all the time to signal a change in the song's structure. Simple slides, but super effective. Now let's put everything together and see how it goes. That's our Gene Simmons bass line. Great player, very underrated, often laughed at, but if you look past the makeup and the gimmicks, he's a super solid rock and roll bass player and there's a lot to learn from him. Thank you very much for watching, please subscribe, follow me on Instagram, and I'll see you next time.